really personal stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's really nice.
Really?
So they have that inside scoop to Laura.
Real personal stuff? Really?
Bob,
Easy.
Pause.
settle it down over
Sorry.
there in that rectangle.
Not intimate.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's not one
All
of those
right.
kinds of
All right.
things at all.
Just go back to eating whatever you're eating, Bob.
Hot
All
dog.
right, Rob. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah. See you later.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, this is so cute. Well, not cute, but funny. If any kids skip school, that would be the first
That's-
place I would
yes.
look. Is at the
We do get a lot of water, a lot of rain here, probably about as much as we would
Here,
in
Mom,
Washington and Oregon.
Wow.
So catching it here is really a good idea. So
What's that? Bauxite. I've never heard of that. Being in Tennessee, testing the water for bauxite is not a bad idea. I haven't heard of that before.
Let's not look it up.
I think that's what they
I've
make
got to
aluminum out of is
Hey,
bauxite.
Dad.
Let's not. let's
our
not look it
water
up.
is tested here. Yeah.
It's
Rob, take
naturally
care, brother.
occurring.
Yeah, it is.
Did you look it up? What is it
Yeah.
though?
Bauxite is a naturally occurring heterogeneous material composed primarily of one or more aluminum hydroxide
Oh.
minerals, plus various mixtures of silica, iron oxide, titania, aluminum.
Ooh.
Heavy metal poisoning.
Mm.
Yikes.
Our
That's
well
from the
water is
United-
tested. We're clear except for calcium.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're probably good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking to other gardens. Yeah, finding out what they're getting for free around them. That's true. Creative
Oh, that's
redundancy.
a really good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Beth,
Yeah.
I'm just relaying this live stream, so you
Yeah.
don't have to go anywhere if you don't want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just Barry is on my panel, and you
Mhm.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. We all hop around in each other's
Yes.
Hmm.
and say hi to each other's.
Yeah.
We get some
iPad.
coffee.
Actually, I just realized I didn't go over and do that. I don't think in Divas. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I appreciate that, Beth. I'm going for coffee. Anyone else?
So sweet.
Yeah,
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't. Sorry, I don't drink coffee.
grab me one.
Got any
Somebody want?
hot chocolate?
Would you?
Ooh,
Oh, okay,
I want
sure.
hot chocolate too. If you're gonna make
Some
hot
hot
chocolate.
chocolate.
I got to run to the store first, but yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot of it in certain parts of
How
Tennessee.
about
That's
mead? I wish I
very-
had some mead. I would hand that out. But
Mm.
I haven't had mead. I've never had it.
one of these days, I'm going to learn how to make it.
Oh, thanks, CR.
Put a bump.
So, what kind of things? Okay, so as far as garden additives, we can get coffee. Some of us for free.
Mm-hmm.
We have the pine needles so far, leaves that are falling off my tree. Laura, you've got your duck juice from your ducks. You've also got the pine needles and the forest floor, which is amazing.
Leaves. I have leaves.
And you also have leaves. I'm trying to think what else we covered as far as free additives.
Grass.
Glass
Only more
clipping.
grass.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you're in
I ran
town.
across the house to say grass, and he beat me to it.
Okay.
Oh.
CR, that's
Yes.
one. You only get one, CR. That's all you get. See,
Yep.
he
Top
always
and
has
drop.
puns. Boom. You know,
Yeah.
you can see. Yeah, that's all you get today, CR.
Oh,
So
sure, I
just-
can. Hold on. Let's introduce everyone. I am Carol from South Florida. You are on my live at 11:30 Eastern on Fri-Yay night. This
Yeah.
is Laura next to me, Hedgehog's Homestead. She is a co-host with Maureen and I on our lives now. She's been able to come in when she can wake up, I guess. Is that how it's going to go?
Mhm.
She's a morning lark. Then next to Laura is my co-host that I started with, Miss Maureen Washington, who is Diva in the Dirt and also a well-accomplished singer, I might add.
And a Canadian.
And and a Canuck, but we don't hold that against.
Oh, Canada.
Well, so is
And Laura
Laura.
originally was one. Yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of. And then we have Bob 942. He's our survivalist on the panel. We have, and he also gardens.
And I have syphilis and I spread it.
No,
So
no,
Oh,
Pause.
Oh, sorry,
Pause. No.
sorry.
wrong channel.
wrong channel. Wrong. And then we have Storms, Radios, and Cats. That's Storms, Barry over there. He's our buddy. I forgot. Maureen has her live, and I will be there tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. Usually on Saturday night is when she goes live. Woohoo! And Laura usually will be there too if she's awake. And then Barry, who I was going to, is usually my 9:30 on Eastern Sunday night, and I go and hang out with Barry. A lot of us have been friends on here for
years.
like 5 years now.
Yeah.
For me, it's fallen into Maureen and I are new but feel like old friends. But still, like we've known each other, I think, over a year now, because Shed Wars was like a year ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, a year. It flies on YouTube. Totally. It's like so different. So anyway, there's my panel tonight. And then we also had J3GS Farm up, who's got a wonderful channel and just started a channel for his beekeeping. So go
Very cool.
and check out his original channel, and he might have a link to the beekeeping channel. Passamaquoddy, you came in while I was doing all that.
Passamaquoddy.
So good to see you. I miss you.
Hey,
Let me see. Yeah, I
Yes,
really miss her.
buddy. We love her.
Gardening advocacy. What is that? And what
Yeah,
would that
you're-
represent?
Yeah, what is that exactly?
Oh, mama.
Yes.
Well-
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Good desire for me. Yes, I have those. What the? Yes. Banana
Yes.
peels and
I
of
do
course
that.
eggshells. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, yes. Exactly.
Oh, scrappy girl.
Hey, scrappy girl, welcome
Scrappy
in.
girl. Of course, we do eggshells. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I would love to have bees, but they don't like me too much. If they sting me, they might, unalive me. I'm not sure if I'm allergic to them anymore.
All I,
It's nice to meet you all.
all I do is my eggshells. I crush them up real good, and then I just throw them out over the garden.
Yeah.
There you go. Mhm.
I can watch for a little bit.
I could turn my mic back up.
Right. Oh, cute. I like that one. You guys and gals are like companion gardening. Yes, we are companions and we
Mhm,
garden.
mhm.
Exactly.
Yep.
Companion gardening.
Yep. Compadres. Okay, I totally understand. Passamaquoddy got her new phone and then it was split. When it shipped to her, it was split. She was so excited to finally get her new phone, and it was broken. So she's got a faulty battery. That's why a lot of us haven't seen her in the side chat supporting because of that. We miss you, Passamaquoddy. I just want you to know that. Yeah, that's what we basically all do here. DJ's Adventures and Beyond. That's kind of our channels, except Bob makes a lot of things in his garage for survival. Laura built a homestead from scratch with her husband. They came from the city, West Coast. Is it where? Help me, Laura.
Portland metro area.
Portland. You're Seattle, right, Bob? Seattle.
Yeah.
Portland.
Yeah.
Okay.
My channel's also got international travel, daily vlog. It's just whatever throw on there. I don't
Pretty
stick
much.
to one category. Yeah.
Me either. I don't niche.
Mhm.
I don't niche down like they tell you to, but I do have a lot of gardening on mine, and what do you call it? Tours of places that would interest gardeners and gardening tips and things like that.
Yeah.
And then Barry is a little of everything. He is Storms, Radios, and Cats, and he encompasses that name. And then Diva in the Dirt is actually teaching new gardeners how to garden, and she wants everybody growing immediately if they can.
Start last week. Yes.
Teaching them all the
I need
stuff.
you to I need you to start 6 months ago. That's when we needed to start growing because things are too expensive.
But there's always more needed, DJ, because we're all in different zones. We all have different teaching styles. Everybody has a different learning style.
Yes.
Oh, it's It's recently expanded. Okay, cool.
Yeah, on my channel you'll find weird types of
you're sweet.
compost. All kinds of. I'm kind of an experimenter, and the gardening I do is almost all flowers.
Oh, thank you.
I love growing flowers. And strawberries and little things like that. I love flowers, man.
With Beth is like us right now. Maureen, she's at that 1,000 and she's watching YT kind of back her up like they did to me. So if you guys are not subbed or you have subbed Beth in the past, she's very artsy, creative. She does those books of collages, and she does lives during the weeks. I think you said 3, Beth, and they're usually 3 hours each. So her hours are probably there. She just needs to maintain her subs so it doesn't get messed up while she's applying. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, everyone's gardening. Different tips come from different places. Exactly.
Can I share something personal online? Kind of, in the morning I go on.
No syphilis talk, though.
No, well, it's sort of that. Okay, it's sort of that. Where that came from. I go on Filipino lives. They sing karaoke and international panels. And finally, the word. Okay, nobody really knew me. They just knew I've been married to a Filipino for 20 years, all that. And I put out a rumor that I'm an American. I'm a serial killer. And a cannibal.
We talked about this last time.
Yeah. And finally, the word came back to me today. Oh, you're Bob. You're the cannibal.
Oh gosh, that's horrible.
That's not horrible.
It's awful. Yes, you're eating people, and they're like, "Oh, cool. How nice. Nice to meet you."
Yeah.
Videos once. Let's see. I'm going to bring up your channel, and how did you expand it, DJ's Adventures? And how did you? Oh, I love the turtle. Also, whereabouts are you guys? I know you travel, but whereabouts are you? Are you always traveling, or have you found like a place where you're going to be homesteading? Because you said about gardening tips.
And let me add to that.
Yes, Beth does give a lot away. Yes, she does. Go ahead, Barry. I'm sorry.
Like Carol said, that I'm sort of don't have a niche. I'm all over the place, and let's just add drone to that too.
Yeah.
Right. Cool, yeah. Barry. Now you're going to be droning. That's right.
Very cool, Barry.
Of Kentucky. Hey, Andrews.
That is really cool.
Good to see you.
Hello, Andrew.
Yes, Bob does have a beautiful voice.
Andrea. Sorry.
Yep. Bob does have a beautiful voice.
I am just kind of the off kilter personality that's inappropriate at times, and it's just me.
Yeah.
Beth, I have you as my friend.
We are in Central Missouri, and we have added food reviews and restaurant reviews. Okay, cool. Everybody likes food. That's probably why you're picking it up. We talk about food, and
Hello, Andrew.
Hey, fart and pain. I feel so weird out of it.
Hi.
Good to see you, or not see you, because you're fart and pain. I don't know if you're
Tell you later.
Hey, fart and pain. You want my email address? I'll pictures are okay.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I would leave too, but I would feel awkward if I did.
Oh, sorry.
I agree. CR gardening is just.
So, Bob, did you decide on a basement, or
for me,
just going to use your garage?
Yeah, I've gone green in the basement. Yeah, it's all solar. It's new construction, solar, processing tables, bone grinders, all that stuff. Yeah. We're gonna go completely green. Yep, wood chipper, all.
Oh my goodness. Did you see what CR said? And also Andrew has got new carvings that we should try and go check out at Andrew's Northwest Coins. But where is it now? I lost it because I just put it up. I like this. Gardening is just another form of creating for me.
Yeah,
it's so cute. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Of course, I presented earlier today, this bag of bone meal right here because I heard from one of the Filipino ladies, oh, you're Bob, you're the cannibal, yeah, and here's my new brand of bone meal. I make that myself in my basement.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, if it's working for somebody, why not? Just like I said, everybody's got a different take on things, and especially with food, because that's kind of a personal thing. But if you're really good at describing what it tastes like and textures, people are into that. Plus, they're into watching people eat, which I never knew was like a thing until YouTube. Like the mukbang thing, I didn't know was so popular.
Yeah.
But another channel that does the mukbang is Official Jamia. And she's a hoot. She's usually,
wow.
Yeah. Bob, do you use bone meal too? LOL.
I make it in my basement.
Yeah, I figured with the other stuff.
Yeah, and thank you, DJ Adventures, for subbing. I appreciate that.
Yes, totally appreciate it.
Yeah.
What do you think the wood chipper's for?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, Andrew. I'll have to swing by and check it out.
It's guy humor. It's guy humor. Yeah.
It helps to be a dad too.
That too. Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to make sure I get her walks in the kitchen. I know it's starting already. I feel it too, CR. Talking food reviews, and my stomach started doing the same thing. Like,
you need. I know. It's like I need a snack.
Yep.
YouTube. I like it when Homestead Aquarius comes on my channel and throws together some kind of a hillbilly cooking meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was gold.
A friend, DJ, do we know you from any other channels? Or are both those channels yours? Because there are people like Cornfed Life. They have a couple channels, which they came through. I don't know if they're in the bushes or not still.
They're not over here anymore.
Okay. But yeah, they have a couple channels also. That's another freebie. Make your own bone meal from chicken bones. Yes, thank you, Miss Sharon. Yes, you can.
I've already looked into that.
So how do you do it? I've done it once. You dry them, but
right.
You're
grinding them up. It's hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're good with that AI. Fart and Pain does some commentary and uses AI.
I've seen different ways, Laura. They say that some people will soak it in water and get the bones soft and then pulverize it and then dry it. That seemed to be really the easiest way to do it. But I looked at how few bones that we throw out, and I went, just go get a bag of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it would probably be really good or easy to do after you make broth.
Yes.
And I think if you just dry them in the oven, they will crumble up pretty darn good, especially after bone broth. Because I find that even after our bone broth, the bones are so soft.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. That's when some of the people I've investigated on their channels, they'll do that and they'll hammer it after it's been soaked and soft, and then they'll hammer it and then they put it in a food dehydrator. But
I've seen it baked. As I've seen.
Yeah.
I've noticed lately that all the popular organic fertilizers, the bags are getting smaller.
They are.
I'm using the cardboard too. You have to just be careful to remove all the tape and the things that you don't want in your soil like that. I use it as a weed barrier. I just started using it around the yard, but below sometimes my raised beds I've used it.
Make sure you wet it really good.
Yes, wet down the ground and wet the cardboard. That's true. That's right. Today when my boys came home from school, I told them school collar, you spent it until August. My boys said, no, I was good. They never get it school over until August. Did they get out just for a break for Memorial Day or something coming up? Or?
No, they're out for school.
They're already done?
Some are, some places are.
That's crazy.
I think I think sometime maybe close to the end of this month, I believe ours will be out. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty soon here. I think it's like
Okay.
sometime next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
Next week here in Tennessee, and then they're done.
I'm just glad I did my son's review in like September, so it gives us time to get another reviewer. Yeah. Because he has to have a review handed into the state at the end of every school year that he's made some kind of progress or whatever. I used to be able to do it because I had my certificate, but now that I don't, I can't do it myself.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm. Nowadays, under the mattress is the best bank. Yeah, that's so true.
Yep.
With things going on with the banks and them collapsing and going into one universal one. I agree. Not change subject, but does anyone remember putting a chicken bone? Made it like rubber way back in science class.
Yeah, I remember doing that. Mm-hmm. I do. I did that. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I add a little chicken or a little vinegar to my broth.
Yes, you're supposed
to. And it draws out the
calcium.
The marrow.
And the marrow. Yeah. Yeah, you're supposed to do that when you make bone broth, Beth, is they add vinegar to it. So it draws all that stuff out of the bones. That's nutritious. Cash on hand, ready. Yep. Ready is always better than going to a bank. Yeah. To get your own money. Yeah. I agree with you. You should always have definitely emergency cash on hand and
absolutely
and keep using cash because they're trying to take it away.
Yeah.
Keep using it.
You see a lot of that around here.
Yes, a lot of stuff going cashless is a little bit unnerving. What I'm seeing besides the cashlessness is more and more is getting put behind doors.
Oh yeah, here in Seattle area, even powdered laundry detergent is now locked up.
Wow.
Everything of any value whatsoever, cans of spray paint, is all
razors.
Locked up. Yep. Yeah, razors. Well, our razors are not yet, but say if you want to go buy a big lighter, you have to show ID to prove that you're 18 to be able to buy a lighter.
Oh, wow.
May 23rd.
Yeah, in Oregon and all the stores. Well, if the stores are open.
Yeah.
I mean, Target and Walmart's pulled out of Portland.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've heard that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because theft is so bad.
Theft.
Because they don't. There's no penalties. There's no.
Yes. That's why they don't want us using cash. Exactly. Yes. I don't want to read that out loud. Everyone can read that for themselves.
Kind of fall in line with all that recent change in Washington state laws is they have revoked our ability to stand our ground even in our own homes.
Wow. You gotta get out of there. That's awful.
Yep. We don't have a duty to retreat, but we no longer are able to go, I was standing my ground. Sorry, that's gone. You should have retreated. You should have surrendered. You should have carried your possession to the guy's car.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Maureen was talking about, that they kind of are like up there.
Yeah, it's like, here, leave your keys at the front door. They're going to break in.
I heard
and
about
they
that.
They'll take your car. So just leave your keys. Then you won't get hurt. Yeah, and the other thing that they have our well, I'll just say it doesn't matter. So they have the military in certain towns that they're trying this. They're going around and the military is coming and they're doing what are called wellness checks. And so they come to your door and they ask you questions of like, how many people live here? Do you have a garden? Do you have chickens? They're wanting to know what people's supplies are.
Are there any firearms in the home?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's scary. Well, they signed that one bill, and then I'll get off of this because they're going to probably hit me. But thanks to AI, they did sign that bill that basically they can come in and take your stuff. Here, they signed one. I don't know how true that is, so I'm just putting that out there that I had read it, that it was signed, that they could basically hand it out in a situation, come to your house and use you like a storehouse.
That's why they want you to register your gardens in the United States.
Yeah. And Miss Sharon, I think probably with the technology we have now, they can scan the serial numbers and keep track of the cash.
Just a few years ago, I got a lot of flack on my preparedness videos. You're paranoid. You're out of your mind. Yeah. I wonder why I was doing it. I'm not sure.
You realize under martial law, they could take whatever they want to.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been in martial law 5 times.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Yeah. Very uncomfortable situation. Very scary, very uncomfortable.
So hide things that are... Well, I'm going to just leave it there.
Yeah, I hear you, Barry.
Yeah, that's so true, Fart and Pain. Yep. It's really interesting how I can just say your name and not crack up, but yeah, it's so...
Fart and Pain.
Oh my gosh, I feel like
that is perfect. I like
that. I feel like when I used to do substitute teaching and you're calling out the role and it's like somebody's put that in your book and you call it out and then realize after the fact you just said that. You're like a student.
That's clever. I like that.
Pain here is Mr. Farton Pain. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, they are making people that way. Yeah, there's a lot of psychological warfare. A lot of psychological warfare has been.
I think the thing we just need to remember, it's in the good book that all of this stuff was going to happen.
Cashless society, wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes, like getting closer together, and
when you feel overwhelmed, go to your knees and pray. It helps. It does. It really does help. Pray for wisdom and guidance.
Even a cannibal can say that. He agrees that we need prayer. he needs a little extra sometimes.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
It is a joke. I know it's a joke. Grab TP either. That's right. Bob wasn't one of the mad TP grabbers either. Yep. We didn't either.
Was not. You're right, CR.
Oh, I ran to the back of the store one time in Oregon. I did. Because we were out. And we were never out after that.
I'm married to a Filipino and they don't use toilet paper over there and they're all laughing at us. They're like, can you believe these people?
Right.
They use something called soap and water. Yeah.
We have one of those toilets now.
Yes, Anne.
Very good.
The bidet?
The bidet? How nice.
Bidet.
How fancy. The bidet.
It's warm too.
Yeah, they are.
That's what I would want if I had one. Well, I have the thing I haven't hooked up. It's so you could use soap and water.
Right. I think my favorite thing, guys, is the warm seat in the middle of the night.
Yes, I would need that if I'm anywhere cold.
Yeah.
Gosh, I feel so left out. I need a bidet.
I don't like you, Laura, because you're a snob. You have a bidet. I don't like you.
Right?
But that's why we have a bidet, because I've run to the back of the store.
Well, now that gives me an excuse to slander you and make horrible things about you because you have something that I don't. So I got to tear you down.
I'm going to make a confession. Like when I traveled all around Europe, it's common to have bidets.
It is.
And I thought, okay, I'm going to get to use a bidet. I have no idea how to use a bidet. I've sat on them.
Either.
It doesn't spray where it's supposed to spray.
Oh, mine doesn't either. You got to move around.
Wait. That's another free thing before I forget. Your PP is free and it is a nitrogen fixer.
Yes.
You just don't want to maybe use it on your greens for your salad.
There's a pet. The ones in Europe. There's a pedal at the base of the toilet, and it's a lever, and you just step on it while you're sitting there, and that's how it turns it on. Yeah.
No, it's not the turn on. It's the fact that it's not spraying where it needs to spray, but Laura just said you have to adjust yourself. And so it was like, I was like, this is so. Eventually, I went, okay, I'm not gonna even try any more of these.
Got it. I wouldn't have known that either.
Yeah, the ones over in the Philippines, the bidets over there are different. They have like a shower head on it, and you just
Yeah, that would
Turn
be
it on.
great.
That's
Yeah,
right.
those are a
Right on.
great attachment.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody should have one in their home if
Yeah.
stuff hits the fan again.
Mhm.
Because I mean, you can hook it up right to the water on your toilet, and
Yep.
then
That's
you
what I
have-
have. That I
you
have.
have it for emergencies.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I haven't installed it yet, but I have one.
Just
So
Had it
Go
for
ahead.
like 2 years, so it's here somewhere. I think in this room too.
just pray
Mhm.
that the water pressure never exceeds like 80 pounds per square inch,
Oh.
because it's going to launch you off the commode.
Mhm.
Yep.
But
Now
then there's
I want to go
Had
find.
him. Just
but then there's
saying.
that one weirdo who's like, oh, I like that.
So now I want to go find a bidet and see if I can
And get that aim
see if I
down.
can get it working, because it was like, okay,
Just wiggle.
it's not working. That's not
Shift.
working. And we were all over. Like it was like and all of them were different. Like where the little faucet, it's like, yeah, no, that's not going to work.
Sharon, too funny.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Spell check hates me too. Don't. It's not just you. It
Yeah.
gets me all the
It
time.
hates me.
It definitely hates.
Yeah. And it's not a good idea to use your wife's new curtains as a supplement for toilet paper. It's not a good idea. Just
No.
don't do that.
No,
You
not at
yeah.
all.
Are you
Yeah.
speaking from experience?
What?
Thank you.
You
Dee.
can
Um,
always use a bunch of
yeah.
wash rags,
Yeah.
old diapers. Those
Yeah.
are
Oh,
good. to
that's
keep around.
terrible. You got to get them some Cheerios and teach them the Cheerios trick. You throw the Cheerios in the toilet and tell them they have to spray the Cheerios.
Yeah.
Make it a game. Make it a game for them.
Hmm.
And then maybe give them a cookie. Whatever.
First one to make it to the middle of a
Yes, thank
Cheerio wins.
That's right.
Oh, that's difficult. Oh.
Jacob, please be neat and wipe the seat. I remember that. That's so
But it's
true.
worthy of a prize if they can do it.
Wow, Bob. Wow. I miss what Bob says stuff all the time. I totally missed it.
Yeah.
It's
didn't-
better that way.
We didn't. Our boys only stand when they're out in public. Everybody sat at home. Nobody ever stood.
That
That
would help.
was.
My
That was
husband
just a rule.
sits,
Mhm.
Yeah,
so
that would help.
Yeah.
he's too tall.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say he's got a long way
He would-
to
Yeah, he could just get the whole backside of your toilet. Since he's such a tall man. No.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. I did miss something. Wow.
I just have no filter.
Yep. That's okay. Mostly okay.
Mostly.
Mostly.
Most of us are used
AI is going to be like,
Yeah.
this is about like when they go to share me out, gardening, chat, and cannibals. How do we? How do we sell this one to the ad people?
Well,
Spices, yes, spices. would be good.
those carcasses that we throw in the those are free, right? The
Yeah.
dead things you find
Yes.
around your property.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Compost
Yeah.
your enemies. That's compost. Good.
Yeah,
job.
it's composting, recycling. Organic. It's
Yeah.
organic. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, saving
Those
money.
gifts,
Cost
those
saving.
gifts the cats leave behind. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Mhm.
Ugh, cat poops.
No. I'm talking about the rodents they catch for you.
Oh,
because
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
I'm
you.
sorry.
That's
Yeah.
how they say I love you. They catch something for you.
Hey,
They
look
do.
at I got you. I brought you.
Yeah, look what I
Uh-huh.
brought.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Although David the Good says in his book of compost everything that dog manure is very good for your compost.
Really?
Mhm.
No. He does go against the grain on stuff like
He
yeah,
does.
He
He
does.
does.
But like whatever. I couldn't do it. I don't think.
Oh yeah. Our
But
chicken
I mean,
food.
it's all
you
protein,
go right in there.
processed protein.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
But depending
but
on what
worms.
the dog is
Yeah.
eating too.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
exactly.
with humans, like
Yeah.
like if you're on a whole bunch of medications, I wouldn't recommend
No.
No.
Using
touching
that.
your pee and putting
Yeah.
it in your own. Like if
That's
you're
true.
eating all from the garden and
Yes.
but it's
Right.
like
You're not on any
That's
meds that
true.
are shouldn't be
toxic.
Yeah.
flushed down the toilet.
Yes.
Can I
yes.
pass my party?
Oh, good night. Thanks for
Honey.
coming in.
Please.
Miss
Oh, look at
you.
all the zeros you put on my screen.
Miss you, honey. What?
Cat.
My-
Cat
The
invader.
cat
your
walked
cat.
over here, pressed
Oh.
a 0 button, filled my screen with 0.
Oh,
I always have
Mhm.
tweezers or something.
Yes,
hey.
rabbit manure is very good.
yes. Well, that one you can put right onto your garden.
Yeah.
Hair is very good. But again, if it has chemicals in it, like if
Yeah.
yes, the nitrogen in your hair is good too.
That's how I felt. Cece, same thing. Yes, you did say that out loud. You can feel free to erase your own comments where you do that. Where where it actually comes outside of the brain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I
Yes,
started
rabbit
saving
poop. Thank God
my,
for rabbit poop.
if I do have compost tea, but I'm very sure if I started saving my own urine, Mrs. would send me in for an evaluation.
Yeah. Well, what some people do
Good
is they
reason.
pee in the poo-poo juice, is they add a little urine to that. But yeah, I see what Marie's
Oh.
saying about your medications. You don't want to be using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. See, says
Mhm.
that morning pee is best. More nitrogen. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that
Morning.
makes sense because it's settled in your system.
Yeah,
at night.
unless I've had my cup of coffee before then, I'm not going to be able to aim into anything other than.
So
Oh.
sit down, Barry. Sit down.
But outside, like she's
And if
saying,
I'm going to
like,
collect
morning
that,
pee.
yeah, I guess no, I'm the only one on this hill, so.
Yeah. Somebody
peeking.
said that. Somebody said that it was like what the dream of living in the country is that they could go out on their porch and pee if they wanted to, and
Yep.
wouldn't care. Like,
Yeah.
Not so much, not really, no. I mean,
Well, I know different places around my house. I do because I had bladder surgery and stuff, so it's
Yeah.
like once in a while
just
I
take
gotta
it.
go. Yeah, I
know-
got
Yeah.
to.
You know that I give visitors at odd hours,
aims
so
for the bushes.
yeah.
Well, that might be a perfect time to unload your
But
nitrogen.
I did go to the men of the neighbors here, and I told them, if you see me, urinating, I had bladder cancer. I had a bunch of stuff cut out of my bladder, so. But I didn't go to the wives and told them that. I said, I'm not doing something weird. I'm just going pee. Just bear with me.
Oh.
Please don't call the cops. I don't want to be a sex offender.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it will smell if done too often, and if done in the same place. You're not supposed to do it in the same place either because it can actually cause issues with the plants. They can get too much nitrogen and
Yeah.
also salt because we're usually peeing salt.
God's desire for me. The pests that I want to keep away, I don't think that's going to keep them away. But
Well, if you
Give it a
nitrogen
try.
on their shoes, it might. If you just act a little bit.
yeah, I doubt that they would even notice. It would,
Probably not.
I have not used urine on my garden.
Yeah, I haven't either. It's just we're talking about free stuff. Take it with a grain of salt.
I had a few students who they were males, and they as they were coming in, they go, I just need to use the bathroom, and they said, I'm just going to go behind the studio, and I said, yeah, I have a compost bin, so just go ahead.
Yep.
So that's where they would go.
Why not?
There you go.
all right.
Oh my. Oh yeah, when you definitely gotta go. Unless it's a public restroom. Those ones are like iffy. Sometimes you gotta cross your legs because they're so disgusting and go into the other.
Try going into a men's room sometime.
Oh
They
yeah.
never
bathroom.
clean those. It's
No.
disgraceful.
No, and they when I flew into the city here, they're doing some renovations, and so they've exchanged the women's bathroom for the men's, and they've just put things over the urinal. But even though it's supposed to be for the women, it was still grossing me out thinking I'm in that bathroom.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
I've walked into it by accident.
Here's a very interesting thing.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask Bob and Barry this question.
Mm-hmm.
So you go into a men's washroom, and there's 5 urinals.
Mhm.
Where do you go first? Which urinal do you choose?
Yeah, E. coli starts from the popo bath.
I always go I like to put a urinal between myself and the other guy.
Right. So there's nobody in there, so you're just going to walk in. Which one would you choose?
Second from the end.
Second from the end. Okay.
Yeah.
So now,
I know
Barry,
this one.
Barry, where would you go?
I try very hard not to use public restrooms, but you know,
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
whatever.
You gotta go.
The one that's closest to the sink.
Okay. So now there is somebody in the bathroom. They are at the far left. There's the 5 urinals. Where would you go to use the urinal?
Right next to that guy.
No, that's
Make eye contact.
No.
To be quite frank with you, I'd never use the stand-up urinals. I always use the stall.
Okay. But anyway, so the thing is, the interesting thing is that like we had this discussion when my sons were, in their early 20s with, when dad was around. And it was like, there is an unspoken thing. Like they just know where they're supposed to go.
Yes.
I walk into the women's washroom.
No, I know, Anne, it's true. I know.
And I just go, and it's just like, oh, available, not available, not available. That one's available. I'll go in that one. Like I don't map it out,
Right.
But
we have walls between us.
This is true.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah,
and you never as a man go like that.
I think
No.
I saw a short like this where the guy was trying to decide, and then all of a sudden, like they flashed to him over at the urinal, and the guys are just like buddying up with him, and they're just all peeing in one urinal. It was so weird.
Oh, weird.
No, that don't happen. Well, no.
I think it's because it was highlighting the fear of
Cash me outside. I ain't
choosing
doing that.
Yeah, no eye contact. And the guy who let me clue you in, girls. No eye contact from me, but the guy who makes eye contact, I move as far away from that mofo as I can, and because I gotta pee, Yeah.
But yet, then when I hear about when it's locker rooms, like everybody just walks around, comfortable with themselves. I'm just.
Well, here's the difference, Maureen. When you're taking a shower, you're mobile. You can move. When you're peeing, you got to stand there for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm sorry.
All of it weirds me out because I wouldn't be like, I'm just gonna walk around, do like.
I want to know who in the world thought it was okay to put men right next to each other peeing.
Yeah, what is that about?
They're getting better with that, Laura, because the reworked bathrooms have got they do have a partition between them.
Yeah, it's like a cubicle with a urinal.
Right. Yeah. But the newer bathrooms have got a full length partition between them with no door. The old days it used to be urinal. That's how it is in the military.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not like that anymore. They're getting a little more thoughtful about that.
Mm-hmm. It's just so weird.
It is.
I was chatting with my sons, and it was like, oh yeah, no, Mom, you just go here, and if there's someone here, then you go here. If there's and it was like, how did you guys know that? You just do.
We just do.
It's their natural competition that they have, men between men, Maureen. Like they just.
Funny.
Oh, you're over there? Okay, well then the best.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's just too many weirdos out there.
I would go in the stall if I was a guy. That's just me. If I gotta really, really go.
I'll tell you a really awkward thing that happened to me in 7th grade. I started a new school, on my grade, and the locker room, or the lockers, girls' locker and the boys were not marked. Evidently, they were just one on each side of the gym. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw my friends, walking through, but I didn't know they had already went to boys' locker room and changed after gym. I walked straight into the girls' locker room.
Oops.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Oh, wow.
Because our gym teacher was a female, and she's like, "Sir, turn right around and walk straight back out that door."
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. But to clarify, someone said something about, walking around the locker room, however, happens evidently in 7th grade that happened.
Wow.
Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah, we had
anything, but still, just
I think every kid's done that though, like gone into the wrong one and then been mortified.
I heard about it for 2 weeks.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Nobody let me live it down.
Yeah, I remember in junior high, one of the girls walked into the boys' locker room. We didn't freak out. We just said, "Hi, Tina," and just went on about our business. Hi. We all knew her. It's like, and she was doing it as a dare, but she didn't get a big reaction from us. It was like, yeah.
When I was a freshman in high school, I played volleyball, and being on the junior volleyball team, they of course got to initiate you, so they throw me into a men's bathroom, and I was like, so I just kind of stood against the wall. I couldn't see much, and I'm like, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
And the guys are just like, initiation. Yep.
Yeah. It was like that one day at Boeing. The ladies' bathroom was closed for cleaning, and the men's bathroom is nearby. And one of our coworkers, a girl, came walking out of one of the stalls, and we had the large round step sinks washing her hands, and she just stood next to us and washed her hands. And the guys don't react; they don't freak out. It's like,
Yeah.
Hey.
Are you keeping up on the Boeing news? What's going on?
What part?
The plane failures and the whistleblowers and the.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. I did one of the nights that the wife and I went out for a date night. There were 3 other Boeing guys at the nightclub, and we all talked a bit. And us guys who built the airplanes were out on strike. Remember that one that with the emergency thing? Okay, what happened? Well, Boeing. Well, okay, we're hourly wages, and then there's office people who don't know what they're doing. They should not be touching the airplanes.
My brother-in-law is an office guy, and my mother-in-law was Boeing person too. So
what happened with that first one where the emergency exit flew out? That these guys who still work for Boeing told me, and they said that there's a process in place. It's called we need to get a removal. That means a completed assembly has to be removed. It has to be documented. All that has to be thoroughly documented. And then say I need to put in something underneath there. I sell off my process. That's done. Then I have to go back into an okay to install. QA comes out and checks it, and then I install, and then it gets inspected again. Okay, somebody who worked in the office got a removal for that door and didn't follow the process. They did not get an okay to install. They didn't get a final inspect. Nothing. They just hung the door in its location, and their office people, they don't think of the follow through. They probably didn't even know what they were doing. And just dropped the ball, and it's one time it slipped under the cracks. Okay. But you got to remember now, Laura, that Boeing is one of the biggest corporations on the planet. The House of Representatives are looking for a payoff. They do this every few years. They're looking for a payoff. We're going to put you under a Senate committee investigation. And they'll do all the formal hoopla. But it comes down to a cash payout to the government is what it comes down to.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
I on my morning panels that I go to with international, they ask me the same questions, and it's like this happens every few years, and you hear Boeing, 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 Boeing. But you also got to remember that there are more Boeing airplanes in the air right now than anything else.
Yep.
Things happen. Things wear off. Like one tire flew off of an airplane. Okay. Mm-hmm. How many years has that airplane been flying? And Boeing doesn't own it anymore. That belongs to the customer. I was
about to say, know, after it leaves, it's like when you buy a car.
Yeah. It don't belong to Ford anymore, does it? It belongs to you. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't
I get a lot of slander from some of the Australians because they love to hear anything bad about the United States. They love it. Oh, you're incompetent and all.
I know.
Well, how many airplanes has Australia made?
Yeah.
None. You're a continent and you can't even make an airplane. What happened there? Yeah, but I had a guy the other day on one of those international panels, drunk Australian, calling me all kinds of horrible names. I'm used to the abuse. It doesn't affect me.
Thank you, Sharon.
And so, he saw a video on Australian news. An 87 hit some turbulence. The airplane went up. People hit the ceiling, and then they fell down into their seats. That's why they turn on the fasten seatbelt light.
Yeah.
Because it's called turbulence. And I tore that guy apart. I tore him apart because I said, and he said, it fell out of the sky. Really? How many people died, John? How many? Where did the airplane come down at? What country or what ocean? Well, it didn't, but it fell out of the sky. Okay. All right. So what happened to the airplane exactly, John? Well, one of the black boxes failed. Okay, John, which black box? Which one? And it come down to where finally the drunkard admitted, well, I just saw it on Sky News Australia.
Yeah.
You know,
have a lot.
I logically took him and cut him into pieces because, you Americans, you're imbecile, and I'm like, no.
Again, Bob.
Yeah, exactly. like that. And I said, John, have you ever been in the lower 41 section of a commercial aircraft? No, well, okay. How many black boxes are down there, John?
Several.
Hundreds. There's hundreds of it. That's the brain of the airplane is in the lower 41 section. That's the brain.
Oh, I never knew that. There's hundreds of those black boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds of brains in a Boeing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
There's the cannibal again.
Brains, chopping, processing.
Yeah. But I mean, like when they say we found the black box, they always make it sound like there's just one.
Yeah.
No, honey, there's hundreds of them. It's part of the fail safe because this system has redundancies in there.
Yeah.
Oh, freaking CR, you didn't hear that. You didn't hear anything about redundancy.
No, nothing about redundancy.
No. Okay. All right.
Anything like that.
No, every system has got a black box basically, and that's the brain, and then the eyes are up in the cockpit. And if a black box fails, it pops a circuit breaker or a light comes on in the cockpit.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I just have always heard that too on the news, like when they're not with just Boeing, just any airplane crash, like we've discovered and recovered the black box. They make it sound like there's just one particular black box that they're looking for.
The black box, honestly, in most 737s, it's orange. It's an orange box, and it's in the 46 section up on the ceiling, and it's about that big by this big, and it's got the ends are sealed. So if it goes in the water, it's actually called an ELT, emergency locating transmitter.
Okay.
And that's got the flight data recording on it.
Okay, so that box is one box that they're looking for.
Yeah, okay. And it's in the passenger cabin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
and it's orange, so that even if it goes in underwater or if it tumbles through a field, it can be recovered. Yeah.
Okay, so
it's actually orange. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, considering we lost like
oh, sorry.
No, not with your story. With I think just going off the whole gardening thing.
Oh, okay.
You yourself reuse. We were talking about this because what you did for your potted plants. Maybe speak a little bit about that, like what you've used. Hey, David Corey.
These are papers out of my mailbox. This is junk mail right here.
Okay.
I'm working on this while we're talking, and that's going to go into a blender and get turned into a paper powder and then thrown out in the grass. Free fertilizer. You don't have to pay a dime, nothing. It's all for free.
The worms will love that.
They do, Laura. And I tell you what, I'll go out in my backyard, in my front yard, and I'll hook a dandelion and pop the top of it off. And just that little bit of shaking, earthworms are coming out of the soil. It's so perfect, man, because there's so many of them, and there's such perfect drainage, and it's wonderful.
Yeah,
it works. It works. Throw your junk mail out there, grind it up, throw it out there.
Yeah, we throw our junk mail in a compost. We shred it up first.
Yeah.
So you do that with paper plates and napkins and towels, as long as we don't put anything poisonous on it.
Yep.
And we throw it in there, especially if there's food on it. Yeah.
Good, David. That's perfect soil. And well, like this afternoon, I was out in the front yard, and I go out there and I manually weed my grass. I don't use chemicals.
Yeah.
And digging that stuff up, and I'll throw it on top of the grass, all the weeds, and let it dry for a couple of days. And as soon as it gets dry, I run it over with my mulching lawnmower. Yeah. It doesn't go. Most of the stuff that comes into my home doesn't leave. It stays here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just beautiful. Look at this one. Increase surface area to decrease the decomposition time.
True.
Wow, CR.
CR is the master of puns.
Yes, he
He's got to have that CR in there somewhere.
Yes, exactly. Leaves, and more leaves. Oh, okay. So you and Planner Garden TV have that in common. He's like the leaf and broken down wood king, and so are you.
Well, the main thing is to emulate what a forest does.
Yeah, nature.
A forest grows. You can go and look at the soil; it's beautiful. Nobody's out there stirring it up and
nothing.
It's just things dying and feeding the soil, and that's that's the back to Eden method, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's also a chop and drop method too.
Yeah, I bet
it is
broken down wood all over the when it's
perfect
from the forest all the time, and put it in my compost or the bottom of my beds, and leaves as well.
Yeah, I scored yesterday. I have a favorite coffee shop that I go to once a day. Go in there for one cup of coffee and get to mingle with locals, and it's a good source of intel about what's going on in the area.
Yeah.
But I asked the shop owner just yesterday. I said, "What do you do with your coffee grounds?" She goes, "Look on the bottom shelf over there. Big bags of used coffee grounds."
Yeah.
And it's almost completely dried. It's in little discs where they compress it,
Yeah.
And I said, "Can I have one?" She goes, "Take all you want."
Did you pop out when I showed like what I got at Starbucks today? Big bags of them.
There you go.
They had them already taped up and like ready to go, and they were like this
big.
They were huge.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I said, I said, "Can I have two?" She goes, "Take all you want." And I opened up the bag, and I've got one of those soil sifters. It's only about a 10-inch soil sifter. So I poured the contents onto a sifter and then walked around my front yard and just spread it out like a powder all over my front yard just yesterday. Yeah. That's where I get all my compost. Yeah.
I was going to say that creative redundancy. Thank you for answering her. Miss Sharon was wondering about how the pine needles tend to break down, if they break down fast. But I think it does depend on your area, the moisture levels, But I love this. Just leaves, get more leaves every year. Ask your neighbors for that's a great resource. It's free.
David, you can look on my channel, and I've got some videos where I've got like an $80 electric lawnmower, a plug-in, and I've trimmed trees and cut the leaves off and lay it out in a row, and I got it set up for mulching, and I just plow it right in, and it disappears. And I was out removing weeds from that section last week. I only found just a few little tiny pieces of paper and a few little twigs. All the rest of it is gone.
Wow!
In less than a year, it's gone.
Wow. Yeah,
it's beautiful awesome. Soil. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little spoiled putty tie. It's so funny because I was looking down and doing the side chat and trying to find a picture, and I didn't notice the berry for the cat there until I saw Marine's comment.
I had leaves to the top of my garden beds, but it just blows away.
Oh,
and so I have to add it to my compost now. It just blows away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's why I started with the pine needles. So
well, I get coffee sacks, and so I will through the winter I put coffee sacks over my gardens, or once things are planted, I'll even use the coffee sacks, things in whatever leaves underneath it.
Yeah,
hold the coffee sacks around the plants just to even be as an extra weed barrier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
I love your coffee sacks. I so wish I could find some down here. I can't find anybody. Is it made out of burlap? The coffee sack?
Yeah.
Okay, so I could get like a roll of burlap and kind of emulate the same idea.
Yeah.
What's a coffee sock? I'm not familiar with that.
Sack. It's what the coffee comes in from the roasters.
Coffee beans.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Beautiful.
They're big 50-pound coffee sacks.
Right
that
on.
I get from a coffee distributor here.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
Yeah, potatoes, like an old-fashioned potato sack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. That can also slow down water erosion if you place it properly. And
Every time.
And one of the things that we're going to do is with our downed pine trees is that we're going to start placing them on our property where we're having a lot of runoff problems.
Yeah.
Where the corrosion and stuff like that is happening. And that's free for us too because they're our trees.
Yeah.
But Sharon, what about making swales and just creating your own area to plant your trees in if you're hitting granite? Like building the soil up higher.
Yeah.
And creating that as a swale. And then it's going to catch water for you on both sides and help.
Kind of like that kidney bean kind of effect. You build that up and then that catches water and then it waters your roots really good.
Yeah. It's the same idea as the banana circles. If you see banana circles, Miss Sharon. But you can stretch it out. Sorry, Bob, go ahead.
I do talk on a panel with a cool Australian. He's an older guy. He and I get along very well. And he's on a homestead in Australia in an arid climate. And swales, he started putting in swales to slow his water flow down for the rain because he relies 100% on rainwater. And he's so I went and checked his channel and those swales, they slow it down enough to where it soaks in.
Yeah.
And he's totally organic guy, just off the grid. He has solar, nothing else. And I was very interested in to see his planting methods as he's got like a big salt shaker and he puts seeds in it and he walks along in his garden and just slings them out there.
It's neat. Mulch can reduce erosion.
I go, well, Peter, what if things don't come up? He goes, oh, well. And he said, Bob, later. I've slung seeds out there, and 2 years later, they pop up. Yeah. And sometimes you got to take it, and then sometimes they grow. That's it. He feeds himself in an arid climate in the middle of nowhere in Australia.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah. That comes from Jeff Lawton, Greening the Desert. He was one of the first ones under, there was the permaculture starter, which I can't think of his name, Bill something.
Yeah, he told me about
Then
that.
it was it was Jeff Lawton who did the Greening of the Desert project, and yeah, it was swales. Yep, swales are very big in the permaculture, and that's what I wanted to do was permaculture, but my yard is so small. Yeah, it's just like I'm doing zones, but they don't look like permaculture zones at all because I have to use raised beds and things like that with our nematode populations here. I tried in the ground. I did make my nice mound.
I'm doing raised beds because of the drainage. If I don't, the clay doesn't drain.
Yeah.
Then you get things that rot in the ground.
So. And mine's too fast. Mine drains way too fast.
Yeah.
And then we have the nematode population. Yeah, Jeff, his videos are pretty cool, aren't they? Creative. But who's even better is the guy that is in Australia right now, the Weedy Garden. And he is Jeff's neighbor. And he's a filmographer, I guess is how, a videographer. I don't know what they call him now. But his films are amazing on here because he is a really good storyteller. It's called The Weedy Garden. He made speaking of free stuff, he made ferments like what you were talking about, Maureen, when you first started your garden, the Korean. I'm trying to think, so I'm shutting my eyes. Like the Korean gardening concoctions that they make. Weedy Garden showed how to make one too, and how to take the you know more about it. So I mean, like what are the things within our home like that we can use?
Making LAB out of you use rice water and then you pour milk into it afterwards, and it does separate a curds and whey, and then you get this really nutrient dense food for your garden.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. What it does is the bacteria in that rice water will eat the milk, and you're creating lactobacillus. I think it is right.
Yep.
It's a lactobacillus.
LAB.
Yeah, lactobacillus ferment, and you can even just add that to even like her poopy juice. You can put it in there too
100%.
and use it. Or you can just use it on
anytime that you're doing, rinsing your rice before you're going to cook it. It's like
every day here.
Save that rice water.
Save the water.
Yeah. Well, I'll be damned. And you just put like whole milk in there, and does it turn into a pudding? Like
no, it would separate it. You would get kind of like a curds in a way type of thing. But in all honesty, I would just take the rice water, let that ferment, and just put it in. Just feed the rice water into your garden.
Yeah. That's a daily occurrence in my house. The wife's Filipino. I'll put up a video soon checking that 5-gallon bucket that I buried into the ground. I haven't checked it for some weeks, and last time I opened it up, it had a nice layer of mold over top of all that leftover rice and pasta and everything.
Oh, Miss Sharon, I didn't even know about that one because I hadn't checked in with him recently. He's given away food forest. Wow. That would be for my climate. He's down there in Australia. Is he doing it according to what zone you're in, Miss Sharon? I'll have to check that out.
I didn't realize I was and set it up.
Oh, that would be amazing, right?
Yeah, right.
And show you how to take care of it.
I like his compost bins and how he has that set up. I was watching him the other day, and I'm like, I didn't realize that's who I was watching. I'm like, oh, I'm subscribed to him.
Yeah. I've been watching him for a while because his storytelling kind of reminds me of like grown-up Winnie the Pooh, like Winnie the Pooh stories for grown-ups.
Yeah.
Like it's just so most of it is relaxing while you're watching him. And it's also like, oh, that's so cool. Like you would think when you're a kid. I think I left that comment for him one time. I'm like,
remember my sick mint plant? Brown all over it.
That's growing right on.
Coming back. That's awesome.
And it started another one over in this corner. So I'm going to have to take this out of the container, obviously. But it dropped one right in the corner, so it's really not going to have any room to grow in that corner. So I'm going to have to take this all out, put it in a bigger container. But I'm tickled to death. I mean,
oh, that's a interesting question. Yeah, because they can have. Sorry, Barry. No, it looks great. No, it looks really good from what it was dropping and dying, and now it's coming back to life. I think
it's been outside.
Yeah, I believe I mentioned to you guys before that my neighbor offered me several bags of Scott's turf builder stuff.
Yeah,
and yeah, he's starting to come around a little bit because he noticed that I don't use any of that, and he's harassed me a little bit about it. But he stopped in today and he says, I don't see one dandelion or in your yard at all. I said, no. I pop them out and I use them as fertilizer. I just run them over.
Yeah.
And you look across the street and they're getting dandelions even though they use that total kill stuff. Because that's what it does. It kills all the insects, man.
Yeah.
But I'll there's some drama involved in that. I'll talk about that after the show,
My Renaissance grandma is saying about the arsenic in the rice. Is there a concern for that with us using the rice? Or I think a lot of us, though, in the gardening community, use a lot of organic grains, and source them. But I'm so glad you brought that up because that wasn't on my radar. So that's something that we need to be aware of. And I know that too with green tea. Everybody's like, oh, it's so good for you. Well, it's also loaded with lead if you get it from certain areas. So. Yeah, it's sad what they've done to our world, really.
Yeah, but all of our rice comes from Thailand. The wife's very particular about her rice,
Yeah, the jasmine rice, is that what she
Correct.
gets?
Right.
I think I remember. I remember that. And I didn't mean to cut you off, Bob. I just wanted to get to that comment.
I love jasmine rice.
I tried it. I was not a fan. I don't know.
Really? I like basmati rice.
I don't like the smell of it, and the taste is weird to me.
Did you wash it thoroughly before you put it in the rice cooker?
Wash everything anymore. I mean,
okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I just went and grabbed this site.
Yeah.
At this one, so it's how to use water for plants 3 ways.
Okay.
Awesome.
What is rice water, and is it good for plants? The rice water is added in correct increments. It can be hugely beneficial. That's because rice water contains nutrients, beneficial microbes that can help plants grow bigger and fuller. Additionally, rice water can be used as a fertilizer to increase growth and our crop production, as it contains the 3 necessary nutrients, the NPK. So you can do a fermented rice water. It's the most effective rice water solution. Place a few scoops of rice water inside a glass jar, fill it with distilled water, cover the jar with cheesecloth, blah, blah, blah. And then it will start to ferment. If you see this white mold, this is normal. If you see any black, brown, or orange growth, then discard it and restart the process. So, and then you can do, now this one, they are just, you do want to dilute it and stuff like that. The boiled rice water, I've never done this one. And I've just always used just my rinsed rice water. Okay. But it does say here how it can harm them. Just with all fertilizers, adding too much rice water to your plants can be harmful. If misused or over-applied, rice water can lead to harmful bacteria or mold blooms, hardening of the soil, and possible insect infestations. To prevent this, it's best to use rice water on your plants no more than once a month.
Okay. So, that's probably because it's a starch, I would imagine.
Yeah. And I would also, I would also look at diluting it. If you've let it ferment, I would make it diluted. And with the LAB, when I made LAB, it was only a few tablespoons into the watering jug. Yeah. It wasn't like you were just pouring in, so you can make some.
What did I missed what the rice water does for your soil.
Oh, it's gonna feed it. It's gonna give it the balance of the NPK. So
okay,
yeah.
So you're gonna get more. You're gonna get your nitrogen, your potassium, and your phosphorus.
Making fertilizer right here while we talk.
Nut shells.
Yeah, I eat a lot of rice myself, so
yeah,
good to know.
Yeah, just has to be plain rice. And the Weedy Garden does a whole video on that. That's beautiful on making
LAB.
It's like an LAB, but he also adds it to, like, there's molasses involved. It's basically his concoction that he makes that he feeds his garden with. Yeah,
very cool. I like that scientist, amateur scientist stuff.
Oh, he's
doing experiments.
He's very scientist.
He's very scientist, and then he's also got the filmmaker storyteller going too.
Just like so great.
I know,
Great.
Another professional on YouTube. Wonderful.
Making with science.
Oh, right.
I did
Thomas Dolby.
Maureen, that one lady that we found. We found this one lady on YouTube who is like, everything is new on her channel now. Before she just did like she would do like different products for your face and skincare and lifestyle and like cleaning, and you watched her channel just get better and better and better with the stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like no different than an advertising company who sells basically like, here's your campaign. She's like, these are people that come up with campaigns but incorporate them into their channel and make it look like this is my everyday life kind of thing.
Well, see, like, Carol, you did a good thing today because you might have learned something. If you say, Bob, what kind of unusual fertilizers do you use? And I dropped the cannibalism and bone meal and all that stuff. See, just guide me towards something I know about.
Away from the cannibalism and
Do I got to stop thinking about pretty brown ladies though?
No. But you have a great one, and I know you know that.
Yeah, I know that.
Brown paper bags. What about them, Creative? Have you used yours?
Put them in a blender.
I did. I've used the brown paper bags. I laid them down in my and then put soil over them instead of using cardboard. I've done that before because I had a whole bunch of
them up and put them in my compost, or I have my dog do it.
Yeah, I know, right? My son would be
so good at that.
My son would be good at that too.
Barry's cat. Astro?
No, Bubba. Bubba.
Yeah. Bubba the troublemaker.
Well, I tell you what, they got it made when it comes to laps and chairs.
Really have to soak those shells. It's Creative. And I don't use them because of that. But I mean, my base layer underneath my soil is like a bunch of shells and stuff like that. I don't.
So salt-free shells, meaning like seashells.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what he means. Unless you mean like nut shells. Is that what you mean, CR?
Ooh.
Nut shells are good for your garden.
Yeah. So
anything organic. Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine that would be perfectly fine. Yeah, I've seen actually them use peanut shells as like an aerator. Broken down peanut shells, and also the stuff that's on the rice. You see them using it a lot.
The chaff off the rice.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
See that used a lot now. You are shelling out the comments. Well, I'm going to actually call it. It's like 2 hours and my eyes are starting to shut.
Wow.
I'm doing that thing again. I know. I can't do the 3 hour tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me.
No, nothing wrong with that. I'm just shocked that we've been over 2 hours.
Oh,
yeah, me too.
You're having fun. I want to thank everybody for coming in, and anybody who's watching the replay, thank you very much, because we've gone over the hills and dales and everywhere else. But we've also covered and hopefully given you some, good ideas that are free or cheap for your garden. And cloches, that's what I need to pick up at the Dollar Tree with waste baskets. I've been told is a great low-cost way to protect those little sprouts that got eaten. Thank you so much. Score last week. That is great. Wow. I need that in my life. $5 blueberry bushes.
Wow.
Yeah, I need that too.
Oh, Memorial Day sales Hello. Look at your papers and your local gardening places. They should be having sales. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Side Chat or Chat. We appreciate you being here. We wouldn't have much of a live without you. And we will catch you hopefully at Marines, 10 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, or Barry's on Sunday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye. Y'all